Thank you for tuning in. Thanks for being part of our program. Here we are together again on the radio. I have a letter from a listener, and I'd like to read it to you, and then give you an opportunity to respond. Tell me if you agree or disagree with what I'm about to read. This is a listener who did not sign a name, so I don't know who it is, but here it is. Hi, Tom. I am probably one of the most conservative women that have ever bothered to write you, and believe it or not, I am not going to trash you. You know what that always means when they say they're not going to trash me? They're going to trash me. I admit that I've only listened to you twice, and not for more than 15 minutes both times. Your program deeply concerned me because I tend to guard my mind from the kind of things you like to talk about. I therefore am admitting to you that I am basing this email on those 2 times and on things I have heard about you. The whole point of this email is to leave you with a few questions that I hope you will think about. I know that you likely will not think about them, but rather I will give you something different to laugh at. You will excuse it away by thinking that I need to get laid or something. Probably true. Believe it or not, I am genuinely concerned because I believe you have great influence on thousands of men. You are obviously a smart guy to have gotten where you are. So why do you use your intelligence on something so base and mindless as being obsessed with sex, with women that you have no care or connection with? It takes no intelligence to talk about the things you find fascinating. A 13-year-old hormonal boy could do the same. Yes, but could he generate millions of dollars in revenue? Doubt it. Is this really the legacy you want to leave behind when you die? For people to say Tom Leykis was such a corrupt pervert, the only head he had was between his legs. That's where you want to get it. Why do you choose to perpetuate the belittling of men to all of society that you are nothing more than walking sexual appetites? That's the only thing you have to contribute to society, is to help propagate our species and to have so-called unrestrained fun while doing it? I am one woman who finds it tragic that our men have been belittled to this point. We need intelligent, strong, self-controlled. You know what self-controlled men means? Yes, men who like having sex once a year on Valentine's Day. And then the rest of the time think of, like, how to make enough money to buy this woman's cheesecake, pay for her car payments. That know their power doesn't lie in how many women they bed, but that their power lies in their brain and their ethics, and in what they do that makes this world a better place. Sex between 2 people who love each other is awesome. The kind of sex you talk about is empty and lonely. I hope when the day comes for you to die, that you do not find yourself empty and lonely with a life full of regret that is too late to fix. So that's it, Tom. If you wish, laugh away. I don't mind a bit. It's unsigned. Well, let's review some of the issues you bring up here, besides the fact that you based your letter on listening twice and hearsay from other people, which kind of undermines the credibility of your opinion. But, again, here is somebody who thinks that the male mind, which is motivated by sex, there's just something wrong with it, and that we should pretend it's something different, or that we should attempt somehow to change that by using a radio program. I do believe that the world's great art was created by men trying to pick up chicks. For example, how many musicians, especially rock and roll musicians, jazz musicians, how many of these guys got into it strictly for the love of music and not also because they get to bang chicks? Chicks that are out of their league. Many of these homely, destitute guys could never hope to pick up chicks until they picked up a bass guitar or learned to play a set of drums, and suddenly chicks thought they were hot. Throw on a leather jacket, and it's a quinella. This is the reason men create art. Do you really believe that Mick Jagger became a Rolling Stone because he wanted to create great art? Or did he become a Rolling Stone so he could pick up chicks? You know, there was one time when the Rolling Stones probably made $50 a performance. And they were still playing a lot of the same songs. But they were getting chicks. And by the way, I might add, if you looked at Mick Jagger, and I've said this before, take away what you know about him and just be objective. Look at him. Do you think most women would touch this guy, a 60-year-old guy, kind of homely with a 10-foot pole, unless he was Mick Jagger, the lead singer of the Rolling Stones? Come on. Please. We have the story, whether true or exaggerated, about Vincent van Gogh, the Dutch painter who cut off his ear to impress a girl. No doubt he also created art to impress girls. I also believe that the primary motivation for men to become plastic surgeons and other kinds of doctors is because when you make that kind of money and you go around in a clinical outfit saying, "Hi, I'm a doctor," makes you more appealing to a better grade of chicks. That is why men stay so motivated and work so hard to get medical degrees, law degrees. Accounting degrees? I don't think so. No. Not that I don't have great respect for the accounting profession, but chicks don't understand numbers and therefore are not impressed with you being an accountant. Lawyers, they get that. Doctors, they get that. Even architects, they get that. One of the reasons that men do just about anything is to get hotter chicks and to get laid. There's no doubt about it. That is the great motivating factor for men in our society. To pretend that isn't true would be dishonest. And I refuse to do it. I talk about sex-obsessed men, that's redundant. Yes, men are sex-obsessed, just like they are eating-obsessed, breathing-obsessed. They're obsessed with drinking liquid. Yeah, you know what? Having to ejaculate is like urination. It's the same thing. When you gotta go, you gotta go. So yes, we want to go in the nicest restroom we can find. Right, ladies? Yeah. And again, here's somebody talking about the legacy I'm going to leave behind when I die. I've said this on the air recently. I say it again. I am proud of the legacy I am leaving. All the sons I never had, all the men who needed advice on how to get more sex and spend less money and things like that. Proud of that. I love this. Why do you choose to perpetuate the belittling of men to all of society that you are nothing more than walking sexual appetites? Well, it's not much more than what we are. No doubt about it. And I have never, ever encouraged people to propagate our species while having unrestrained fun. Well, I tell men to wear condoms at all times. Is that what you're referring to? I don't even know what that means. Unrestrained fun. No, we should have a stick up our ass all the time, please. So you've heard the letter. I could sit here and pick at it all day long, but why do that when you could have some of the fun yourself? Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. 1-800-5800-866.
You want why women wear makeup and perfume?
Why?
Because they're ugly and they stink.
The Tom Leykis Show. Yes, it's the Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. Let's say hello to Laura. Laura, you're on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom. How are you?
Pretty good.
I just want to say I've been listening to you for the last couple of nights and many more before that. I'd just like to say that woman that sent that letter is a complete idiot. And I think that what you say is very intelligent and very right on for men out there.
This is just somebody who's in denial about what men are all about. Again, I did not invent a society of men whose primary interest and motivation is sex. That is how men have been since the beginning of time.
Of course. And, there's so many stupid women out there that focus, oh, my God, men should be this, men should change. Men are going to be the way they are no matter what. And the more the woman tries to change them, it's just going to make them
but the more we put these makeover shows on TV, whether they be clothing and hair makeovers or apartment makeovers, house makeovers, that is how women are hardwired to think. And, of course, there are exceptions, but generally speaking, women believe that men can be changed from the sex-obsessed creatures that we are to appreciating the short-haired, butchified, chunky chick who eats Sara Lee cheesecake all day.
I'm definitely not one of those. I'm about 100 pounds. So.
Really? Sounds good to me. I love it. Laura, thank you. Our toll-free telephone number is 1-800-5800-TOM. More of your telephone calls are coming up.
The Tom Leykis Show. This is the Tom Leykis Show.
Oh, yeah. From Los Angeles, 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. Debbie on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hey, Tom.
Debbie.
How are you?
I'm doing okay.
There.
I'm doing great.
Good. Well, I was calling about the snooty woman who decided to write you a letter and was a coward. She couldn't even put her name down.
Didn't even put her name. You're right.
You know what's kind of funny is I was once in a relationship where sex was bad and it was all about the man, and then I met my husband who sex is all about both of us, and I think once you meet a man that you can have sex with and talk about sex and have phone sex and any type of sex you want, your mind opens up and you're not as snooty, I think. Because I was the same one time, you know? But that was partially because my mind wasn't open to what it could actually be like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, again, it's not just men talking about sex. I mean, men think about sex all the time. And I'm amazed at the number of naive women who write in here claiming that somehow I'm fueling some fire or I'm causing men to think about sex like I came up with that idea.
I know. And you know what? And I was that way. It was like my previous husband, it was like Playboy magazines. I'm like, you don't need that. You got me. Or porno flicks. I never watched one before. And now it's like, you know what? When the man makes you feel comfortable about yourself and gives you what you need, your mind opens up and you realize that, you know, men are men and they need all the stuff, but so do we. And now it's fun, and that's what she needs to do.
Well, you have to remember, women use sex as a bargaining chip.
Oh, I know.
So, well, many do, if not most. And what happens is that even if a woman needs or likes sex, many times she'll play that down and make it seem like she's doing us a favor.
Yeah, and you know what though? Men play into it, and so then they're at fault too.
Well, that's why I tell men don't play into it. I mean, if a woman acts like her vagina is somehow superior to all other crotchal areas, guess what?
Yeah.
I hate to say it, but there's plenty of other fish in the sea.
It goes both ways.
You know what I mean?
You're absolutely right.
Yeah.
And that's what men need to realize too, is they need to make women feel like they want to be part of that whole sexual error that they're in, and the whole, it's more than just...
I would say women who write letters like this, and I've said this before, and since the woman didn't sign her name, I'll say this with impunity. It's my opinion that women who write letters like this haven't gotten laid in a very long time. When they do, they don't have orgasms. They have a very hard time being lubricated. They are, just stiff as a board and doing it as a service.
And shame on them, because it could be so much more fun.
Yes, and we've heard from these women so many times over the years, these women who hate sex, and then they write in all upset. They're under this impression that men were not into sex, and that the Tom Leykis Show came on, and suddenly they're a bunch of horny bastards.
Yeah.
Like they weren't horny bastards before my radio career began. Right.
All right, have a great day.
Debbie, thank you. 1-800-5800-TOM. Jared on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Jared.
How are you?
Doing okay.
All right. I was just calling saying I'm in a band, rock and roll band, get my good fair share of chicks.
Uh-huh.
And it's great. I wouldn't change a thing, but I love the music so much that even if I wasn't getting that attachment, I would still definitely play the music.
Well, I think that's why you see so many jazz musicians who get paid so little to work. They keep playing gigs.
That's true.
Because if they're not getting the money, they must be getting something.
I get lots of red must on my face.
Oh, baby. I'll tell you what. on another note, Jared, do you hate that guy from Subway?
Yes, I do. He gives us a bad name.
Oh, my God. Do people start giving you a hard time about your diet and stuff?
No, not really.
No? Okay, just checking. It's not a very common name.
No, not really.
So I have to imagine
more and more nowadays.
By the way, you notice the guy lost 50 pounds and he's still a geek.
Exactly.
Yeah, you can lose another...
He's making money off commercials, at least.
You lose another 50 pounds, he's still going to be a geek.
Exactly. Can you give me the biggest bong load?
Here you go.
Wow!
1-800-5800-TOM. Of course, now Subway has those Atkins sandwiches, which I like. That's good. Ruth on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Ruth.
Yeah, I could not disagree with this woman more. I think it's this type of woman that belittles men by using sex as a tool to get what they want. I really have to credit my friend Bear for this one, but sex is a sport. You can play it in teams, one-on-one, all by yourself. As long as everybody's having fun, what's the problem?
That's right. And who's keeping score?
Everybody wins.
That's right.
It's the best sport of all.
Sounds pretty good to me.
David.
The Tom Leykis Show. 1-800-5800-TOM is our telephone number. Broadcasting live from the Pig and Whistle in Hollywood this Friday the 13th. You can come down and see us. And 5 lucky winners and their guests will get to go to the private AOL for Broadband Suite with me. The All-Star Saturday night. That includes the Slam Dunk competition. The only way you can win, though, there will be no on-air contest. You win by registering at the event on Friday, the Pig and Whistle. 6714 Hollywood Boulevard in Hollywood. 323-463. Uh-oh. That's the number. Okay. It's Alfonso on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom.
Hello, Alfonso.
You know, the lady who wrote that letter, she's smoking heroin or something. First of all, as far as your legacy goes, I hope they put a likeness of you up on Mount Rushmore, because you've done more for men than any of those other 4 other guys up there.
Whoever they are.
Whoever they are. They'll remember Tom Leykis 1,000 years from now.
That's right.
Anyways, Tom, thanks for everything. Have a good evening.
You too. Thanks for the call. Miriam on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Hello, Tom. How are you today?
Do you care, Miriam?
I actually do.
I'm doing great.
I love this show. The topic is great, and it actually somehow relates to myself at this moment. I actually met this guy, he's about 12 years older than me. He's very, very, very rich. He has like 5 sources of income, and the point is, he's a very nice guy, and I think...
Oh, that's death. Anytime a woman calls a guy a nice guy, the kiss of death.
Well, that's true.
And no doubt he's cute.
Actually, I like somehow the fact that, he's such a sweet guy. He sends me, huge flowers every day.
Oh, I'm sure he does. He does everything I say not to do, doesn't he?
He does, actually. I'm sure he doesn't listen to you.
Bet he does.
So, anyhow, I think I can, handle, I can like him for all those things that, because at the end, if I want to settle down with a guy, I would rather for him not to be a player. So,
but you're not settling down now, are you?
I'm sorry?
You're not settling down now, are you?
Well, maybe in future, but at the moment, I don't think I'm ready for it.
You're not ready.
Another problem.
Now, let me ask you a question here. Dino tells me you are Persian?
Yes.
Does that mean you're a virgin?
No, I'm not.
You're not?
I'm not tied up at all, and so neither my family.
Oh, okay. So you don't have to marry a Persian guy or anything like that?
Not necessarily.
Because you know what those Persian guys do when the Persian girls don't give it up. They bang white chicks and they pretend to be Italian. You know that, right?
I do, actually.
See, I'm not making this up.
Right.
I've been saying this on the air for years, and all the callers who are Persian who call up, they all go, "Oh yeah, that's true. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's right."
Well,
and they all take on names like Tony and Sal and Vito, and that's not their real names at all.
Right. Well, I don't pretend. I'm not really into it. Anyways,
so what is your question here, dear? I understand your question.
So far, I realize you always, tell the girls that always go for the richest man who comes in your life.
Well, no, that's not exactly what I say. What I say is, though, that water seeks its own level. I mean, hot chicks end up with rich guys.
Right.
Unless you get a hot chick with low self-esteem, and that's what I tell guys to play.
Right. I'm actually pretty high in my self-esteem.
Really?
I'm very happy with myself.
You are?
And
all right, so what do you want to know? You want to know if you should ignore the fact the guy's kind of a dork and go out with him?
I don't like the way he looks. I'm not sexually, no way I could ever be attracted to him.
You could never be attracted to him. Well, dear, if you can never be attracted to him, you have your answer.
Yes, I cannot. I know I'm going to mess up his life, and, you know, there is no hello way that I would be attracted to him sexually at all.
Yeah.
But, you know, the point is, you know, I'm sure that...
Get him to pay your student loans or something. Get him to put money in your bank account.
I'm sorry?
Get him to put money in your bank account or something.
Well, he wants to settle down. He wants to get married, and I'm not into that.
Right. But maybe if you could get him to, like, pay your student loans or pay your visa bill or something.
Right. Yeah, student loans, especially.
And then don't put out.
Okay, I won't.
Lots of chicks do that. Hang on a second. Artie, what did you want to say to Miriam here?
All I want to say, Tom, is that girls like that in the Persian community, what she's saying is what we call kut share. And basically it means it's a bunch of crap and she's a gold digger. Girl, you made it too obvious. Come on. You're with a guy who makes a lot of money. Look at you laughing like you don't even know what's going on.
No, she admitted.
This is my ass.
She likes the money. She admitted that.
Oh, I know, big time. But you know, well, and what? And eventually he's going to find another girl just like you.
Yeah, but as long as Miriam's hoping to walk away with some nice cash and prizes.
Yeah, she's, you know, just another poontang.
Some lovely parting gifts.
Now, I got a question for her. I was wondering if she suffers from CBS. Because most Persian girls suffer from CBS.
CBS?
Yeah, crazy bitch syndrome?
No, not at all.
Really?
This
I was raised in L.A., so I don't consider myself as another one of those Persian.
You don't consider yourself Persian? Yeah. You are the ultimate Persian, you know, like blown up. You give Persians a bad name by using that example.
Yeah, I mean, next thing you know, she's going to be telling people that Persians own rug stores that claim to be going out of business all the time.
Yeah, seriously.
Well, I guess
start spreading those rumors.
You know, these days, 90% of women are gold diggers because that's how it works.
Including you?
And,
okay.
Yeah, including me. I'm a gold digger. I won't date a guy who doesn't have money because I'm from
you won't do a guy
very wealthy family myself.
Tom,
I won't date a guy who doesn't have money. So, yeah.
You're a high class whore. Awesome. Hey, listen, after this, maybe I should get your number. And I got a few other friends that are rich, and we might take turns.
No, you can kiss my ass, but you can't get my number. I'm sorry.
I can kiss your ass?
Yeah.
I can kiss
All
your
right,
ass.
Tom. It was great talking to you.
Yes,
and I love the show.
Well, thank you.
Take her out CBS.
I'll talk to you later.
With her yapping, and you just blowing her up.
All right, guys.
Tom Leykis. 1-800-5800-TOM. Tom Leykis.
I am afraid of marriage.
You're afraid?
Oh, I'm afraid of death. I'm afraid of catching AIDS. I'm afraid of a lot.
I like the way you list marriage in there with death and catching AIDS.
Absolutely. They're all going to end your life, aren't they?
The Tom Leykis Show.
Leykis on Hot Talk 1080.
Tom Leykis Show at 1-800-5800-TOM. That is our telephone number. Thank you for tuning in. It's Chris on the Tom Leykis Show. Hello.
Tom, my hero.
Thank you.
How are you?
Do you care?
Actually, no.
I didn't think so.
Question. One thing to tell all these women that try to use sex as a weapon.
Right.
You can't cut me off if you don't know where I'm getting it from.
That's exactly right. I mean, a woman's goal is to lock you up into an exclusive arrangement, as in a marriage or a living together situation, so that she can then be free to put out less and less, because there's no competition.
Absolutely. But I made that mistake twice before I met my wife now, and I'll tell you what, I'm happy as hell.
Good for you.
But my God, man, it's just, there's, up until now, there was no woman who was ever even worth it.
Well,
but,
there are very few of those.
Yeah. Well, you have a good night, Tom.
Chris?
Take me out Cody style.
Kobe style. Here you go.
This is about us. She's so special to me. You're the beats in my heart. You're the air I breathe. She's so special to me.
1-800-5800-TOM. This is Joe on the Tom Leykis Show.
Hey, what do I got, about 3 minutes left?
I don't know if you'll get all of it. Go ahead.
All right. Well, basically, I want to have sex more than my girlfriend usually does.
Yeah.
And are there girls out there that can, keep up with most guys?
Well, there might be, but if there aren't, maybe you need to not have a girlfriend. But
more than one, eh?
Well, more than one chick.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Have you told her it's unacceptable?
I did. I actually broke up with her a couple months ago because that was one of the reasons. And she came back to me, and I told her that was one of the things that had to change. And so far it has. But she's telling me now that she gets a little bit too sore and dry. And
and she's, you know what? Maybe she's the wrong person for you.
Yeah, she's good in every other way except for that.
Well, I understand that, but
I mean,
you're a man. How important is sex to you?
It's quite important.
Yeah. Well, then, is somebody who gets sore because you have sex with them too often is the wrong person for you?
Now, what about the fact that, it feels better if you wait a day or so, every other day or something?
Again, there are chicks who tell you they're allergic to latex.
No.
They're sore. They have headaches.
Extra day.
Oh, it feels better for you?
Sure.
Wow. Now you're in denial. You start doing that.
You save it up a bit, you know what I mean?
Well, you know what? Why don't you save it up for a year? Imagine how great it'll be then. Our email address is my name. It's Tom@blowmeuptom.com.
The Tom Leykis Show.